Ladies and gentlemen, I'm depressed. I've come out for a walk to look at the world around me, or specifically Britain. I was out of the country recently, and I always get this sinking feeling when I get back. Everything seems to be getting worse. I mean, look at this beautiful place. This is the exception, not the rule now, I think. Most of my experience is urban, and urban in Britain isn't good anymore. Am I the only person to feel that way? I don't think so. Joining me now is Marcus Papadopoulos. Marcus, I'm out and about, but it's depressing. This is lovely because it hasn't been poisoned by the problems of the country so far. Is Britain finished?
Like you, like many other people in Britain, I am utterly despondent. I am completely furious with what has happened to Britain, to what is being imposed on the British people. And in answer to your question, Lembit, for some years now, I have said publicly that Britain is dead, and it was deliberately killed by the verminous, cancerous forces which rule this country. That said, the most important thing is this: the British people are not dead, not yet. We still have an opportunity to prevail in this war which is being waged against us. And in the event that we do prevail, we can resurrect Britain and we can implement changes in the new Britain to ensure that never again will Britain and the British people be subjected to what Britain and the British people are being subjected to today. So in short, on the one hand, the situation is absolutely diabolical, and I use the word diabolical in a biblical sense. And on the other hand, we still have an opportunity to prevail in this war. More and more people are waking up, not just in Britain, but in the rest of the Western world. And that is a good sign.
Well, in a way, you make me feel slightly more optimistic. What's caused me to talk with you from the side of a lake where obviously people have a pretty high standard of living is the contrast between what I see here and what I see in, for example, central London. Central London's a war zone. It's a place I recommend my friends don't come to on holiday, though some of them being quite enamored by it. I point out that I had my phone stolen by armed thugs who are clearly, in my view, not here legally, in front of Charing Cross police station. They must have had it on their CCTV. I pointed out that I could track the phone up to a place in North London. They said there's nothing we can do. You come into Heathrow Airport, and compared to the more modern and updated airports everywhere else, you're coming into like a second world country. The internet doesn't work properly. The government wastes money on half-finished projects which will never be finished, like HS2, and yet they have no immigration policy. You're saying that we can stop it, but is the momentum too much now?
There's no question about it. The damage which has been inflicted on British society, on the British people, is colossal. Indeed, it is beyond colossal. No other country in the Western world, no other people in the Western world have incurred the damage that Britain and the British people have. It is simply mind-boggling what we have been subjected to. However, history teaches us that anything is possible. Who would have thought, Lembit, for example, that the Romanov dynasty would collapse? Who would have thought the Habsburg Empire would collapse? So we must take encouragement from history. We can win this war, but it will take people in Britain to grow a backbone. It will take people in Britain to understand that we must speak out, that we must learn to sacrifice. There is no point people saying, well, if I say this or if I say that, I might lose my job and I won't be able to put food on the table for my wife and children. Well, you are digging a grave for your wife and children by not speaking out. You will not have a future. Your family will not have a future if you do not speak out. And at this juncture, Lembit, these people who are not speaking out are part of the problem. They are part of the problem. What has excelled, even this year, Lembit, is the following. There is an attempt to redefine who the British people are and what Britishness is. And this is the strategy of globalists. This is how globalists kill nations. They kill nations by insidious means. And it is absolutely essential that Britons, who are a white European Christian people comprised of Anglo-Saxons and Celts, come together, stand proud, and defend their national identity. Because if they don't do that, then they will go into extinction. It is as simple as that. Many nations, Lembit, in history have gone out of their existence because of their failure to understand the dangerous situations they were in. So again, history teaches us that the existence of the British people or the German people, the Greek people, the Serbian people or the Spanish people is not guaranteed. Is not guaranteed. You have to actively defend your people and country.
You're certainly sounding quite militant about it. A couple of thoughts for you. One is that the Rupert Lowe situation, Restore Britain situation, is interesting. I think that they've been gaining votes from Reform UK because people expected Reform UK to take a more robust line than they have been. And yet Rupert Lowe has offered to work with Reform UK. So there's an interesting dynamic there. And I wonder if Rupert Lowe is playing a trick slightly because he doesn't think that Reform UK will take this position. So I wonder your views about the future of Reform UK, which I'm still sympathetic to, incidentally. Very sympathetic. The second question, and you can answer them perhaps in one answer, is what will it take in terms of the party, the political system, to cause the change that you're talking about? Or do you think that the political system simply won't deliver it?
If I can take your second answer first. The political system, the electoral system in the United Kingdom has been designed and is maintained by the ruling elite to ensure that the ruling elite remain entrenched in power. That has been the case for centuries. In regard to your first question, I am very sympathetic with the average Reform member and the average Reform supporter. They are good Britons. They are good patriotic Britons. As regards the Reform leadership, I have neither the time nor day for them because they are not truly on the side of the British people. In regard to Rupert Lowe offering to work with Reform, I am not entirely sure that he was genuine in that. I strongly suspect that was a way of Rupert Lowe trying to weaken the argument which is being made against him by people on our side that he and his party, Restore, are dividing the patriotic, nationalistic vote, which he and Restore are not doing. But that is the accusation against him. So by him offering to work with Nigel Farage and Reform, he put the ball in the court, so to speak, of Farage and Reform, knowing that Farage would, of course, reject it. And that is what Farage did. Restore and Rupert are not dividing the patriotic vote, the nationalistic vote. No, they say what the average British person believes in. And during my last appearance on your show, Lembit, I was very critical of some recent podcast channels that Rupert Lowe has given. And I will not retract that criticism of him. That said, what I believe is so important, Lembit, is this, that for the first time, in my lifetime anyway, Britain has a very serious political party and movement in the form of Restore. It has a vehicle for people like me, like you, who love the British people, who love Britain, who love Western civilization, who are Christian. We now have that vehicle and we must use it. Like how in France, there is the Le Pen party. In Germany, there is AfD. In Australia, there is One Nation. I am critical of some of the politicians who represent the aforementioned parties in those countries. But the most important thing is that there are such political parties. And we have not had one, and we did not have one in Britain up until Restore became a political party. So yes, we should criticize Rupert Lowe when it is legitimate to do so, and I will keep on doing that. But most important of all is to ensure that Restore Britain remains intact. Because if there is no Restore, Lembit, then when it comes to trying to bring about change through elections, then we don't have a hope in hell. It's as simple as that. And I'm not saying, by the way, we can vote our way out of it. I have serious reservations as to whether we can vote our way out of the calamitous situation that we find ourselves in. But whilst there is Restore, more and more Britons are coming together. More and more Britons are finding each other. More and more Britons are interacting on social media. That is a reason why the ruling elite, through their useful idiots, such as their chief useful idiot, Andy Burnham, is calling for restrictions on free speech, restrictions on social media platforms. So we must bear that in mind when we consider Restore.
Thank you very much indeed. That is Marcus Papadopoulos. I'm going to continue my walk and think about what Marcus said. We'll probably do a follow-up on this. Do you think Britain's finished? Do you think there's a party that can help save Britain, or is it too late? Do put your comments in and follow me on X as well, please. But more than anything, let me know if you think there's any point in fighting on. I think there is. I wouldn't run unprecedented TV, which I hope you follow and subscribe to for free if I didn't think there was hope. But I trust people like you to think for yourselves and actually fight back for the country represented behind me and the country that embraced my family when they were in need as refugees, but who then went on to embrace the culture that had accepted them. I'm Lembit Opik, and that's maybe a slightly more thoughtful and prosaic edition of Lembit Opik Live.
Immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages.